Right, now let's get to the latest on Paris Saint Germain following their Champions League exit to Borussia Dortmund. What's going to happen next? Tell you who knows. Chief reporter Kaveh Solhekol joins us in the studio. Kaveh, nice to see you. The big dream for Paris Saint Germain is always to win the Champions League. They keep getting close, but never quite get there, do they? They're out the competition. A lot of question marks over head coach Luis Enrique. Is he the next departure?
No, not at all. I think PSG have got total faith in their head coach. I know in the past, if you are the head coach of PSG and you get knocked out of the Champions League, more often than not, you lose your job. But this is a new PSG. They feel that Luis Enrique has done a really good job overall in his first season at the club. They've already won the title. They're in the French Cup final as well. And also, he's really bought into what PSG are trying to do, which is move on from the superstar era. This is a new, young, hungry, predominantly French PSG team, and he's totally bought into that, which is why I'm sure he'll be staying at the club, and I'm sure he'll also be backed in the transfer market this summer.
OK, yeah, well, like you say, it is a predominantly French squad that he's got, but one key French player isn't going to be there next season, is he? I mean, Kylian Mbappe, what's the very latest you're hearing on him?
Well, look, PSG expect him to leave. They are prepared for him to join Real Madrid. He's told them that he won't be triggering the one-year extension in his contract. And I think as far as PSG are concerned, they're going to move on. Now they know that he's made his decision. They are grateful for what he's achieved at the club. They spent a lot of money on him, transfer fee, wages, bonuses, loyalty payments. But he's won lots of trophies at the club. OK, Champions League is not one that they've managed to get. And he wants to play for Real Madrid. So I think there's a sense of, look, Neymar has gone, Lionel Messi has gone. Now it's time for Kylian Mbappe to go as well. We need to move on. We need to move on from the Kylian Mbappe era. What is telling, though, of course, is that Kylian Mbappe himself hasn't come out and said in public, yes, I'm leaving, yes, I'm going to Real Madrid. He was asked about his future after the game last night. A reporter asked him whether that was his final European game for PSG. And he basically turned around, remained enigmatic, really, and said, well, for this season, yeah, it's my last European game for PSG.
Someone else, plucky journalist, asked him if he was going to be supporting Real Madrid in the semi-final tonight as well.
I think that was the final question. He rolled his eyes and he walked off. But look, it's an open secret in football that he's going to sign for Real Madrid. I think if you watch that game last night and how close PSG came and how many times they almost scored, you did get the sense that perhaps from Kylian Mbappe's point of view, in the back of his mind, he might be thinking, OK, I am the symbol of French football. I'm the face of the French league. But would my life be a lot easier from a football perspective if I moved to Real Madrid, a club who've won the European Cup 14 times?
Yeah.
He maybe wouldn't have to work so hard. He may be able to sort of, be able to relax a little bit more. But I don't think Real Madrid is the kind of place where you can relax, because the pressure and the focus is going to be so intense if he moves there.
It makes them a frightening prospect, doesn't it? What about PSG, though? Losing Mbappe, they need to find replacements. Victor Osimhen is a name that's been mentioned at Napoli. A lot of people talked about him in the last couple of windows. He's still there. Chance that he might end up in Paris?
I think there's a chance. I think it will be a very difficult deal for them to do. He plays for Napoli. Napoli, really difficult club to sign players from. Although he does have a release clause in his contract. He's only signed a new contract quite recently, but it's got this release clause which is set to be around 120 million euros. Now, I think from the player's point of view, according to our Sky Italy colleague Gianluca Di Marzio, he says that Osimhen would actually prefer to move to the Premier League, clubs like Chelsea or Arsenal perhaps. because he frequently comes to London, and London is the kind of place he'd like to live. Now, the only issue with that is because of the PSR rules in the Premier League, could I really see a club like Chelsea or Arsenal paying 120 million euros to trigger that release clause? I think it would be a little bit difficult. Not impossible, but it would take some financial, juggling and...
changeofrules.com.
Well, you'd have to get some really good accountants on the case. But it seems like
it's a shame that, isn't it? I mean, just take it away from it. It's a shame that the top players at the moment, you're saying some of the big clubs can't put the hat in the ring for...
They can't, gone are the days where clubs can just spend whatever they want. These PSR rules have been in place for a long time, but it seems that it's only recently that they've really got teeth, and clubs are getting charged, and clubs are taking the rules much more seriously perhaps than they did in the past. But going back to Victor Osimhen, I think PSG potentially would like to sign him, but it would be difficult, especially he's played in France before. Maybe he wants to try a new league. But Napoli are also the really important factor in this. I think they will be very, very resolute, and they will say, if you want him, you have to pay the release clause. It's not something that we're going to negotiate.